What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to another YouTube video. For any of you guys that are new here, my name is Levi. Now, before we get into today's video, I do want to mention to some of you guys that I'm currently preparing for a marathon. And so if you guys would go check out any of those videos after this video, it would be much appreciated. But let's get into what you're here for. And today we're going to be talking about my fitness journey. It's weird because I've been doing YouTube, I've been doing fitness for so long now, and I've never even done like a video like this. I've seen other people do them before, but I feel like some of the stuff that I have to tell you guys is gonna be a lot different from what's already out there, just because it's a lot more personable. I don't really care, you know, to say some of the embarrassing things that I've been through, but I just feel like that kind of information, the vulnerable information, is what truly helps people. So that's what I'm here to offer you guys today. Now, I do want to mention I'm 22 years old and I've been lifting for quite some time. So that's how I'm able to look. I mean, I don't look like a freak right now, but I look like someone who's pretty good in shape, or pretty in shape. So that's going to go hand in hand with the first topic that I'm going to be talking about that I wish I knew before going into my fitness journey, which is patience. So patience is one of those things that we constantly hear, and I'm starting out with it because I want to engrave it into your head, because it's, if not the most important thing that I'm gonna be talking about. So we all have a goal or an idea of what we want with our fitness journey, right? And so one thing I want you guys to do right now, and I did this like for myself because I wanted to put myself in the position that you guys might be in right now. And I said to myself, imagining that I had this, you know, skinnier frame physique that I actually used to have when I was younger. And I said, all right, now imagine your goal physique. Now, do you realistically think that you're going to be able to hit that in 3 to 6 months, which would be like short term? No, you would not. And I literally said, no, I would not. Granted, maybe there's some bias in there because like I know how long it actually took me, but I think we can all agree, like, there's no way, like there's just no way. Imagine, you know, your skinny self, maybe you're skinny watching this, or maybe you're fat, and you think to yourself, my dream physique, and you think about how long you've looked the way you look. And if you really think that you're gonna have your dream physique in that short a period of time, you're living in the world that's not Earth. Because yeah, and a lot of us humans tend to do that. So don't feel left out just because you think like that. Just understand things take time. And I wanna give you guys like an example of how impatient I was in my fitness journey. So when I was working out or getting into my fitness journey, I had learned like how to finally work out and put on size and whatnot. I did have my dad work out with me, which I'm gonna be talking about a little later. I was in like the 12th grade and whatnot. I wanted to take fitness a little more seriously. And so I was like, all right, I wanna get abs. Like I wanna have nice defined abs. And so I started just going along with the basics of, you know, trying to get abs, which is, you know, you cut your calories or go into a calorie deficit. And I did that, and you know, like 4 weeks goes by and my ass goes, man, I still don't have abs. I'm looking every single day in the mirror just waiting to see abs, and I'm not seeing it. And so I start performing compulsions to hurry up and, you know, speed up the process. And in that, I suffered tremendously. Like when I say I suffered tremendously, I was doing like the stupidest you could imagine. So I remember when I was trying to cut and whatnot, or try to get abs for the first time, I set my calories at like 2,200, which was good. I was probably gonna eventually see my abs like pretty well defined. But instead of waiting and just allowing the process to be the process, I was like, all right, I'm gonna drop my calories again. And I dropped them all the way down to 1,500 calories and was running every single day and lifting every single day. And I honestly felt miserable. I lost the most weight I'd ever lost in my life. I was actually the lightest that I'd ever been. In years. I was like 145 pounds, which sucked. I actually think I have a picture of that still on my Snapchat, and I just suffered, and I don't want any of you guys to suffer. So one thing that you need to take into account is that whatever goal you have with your fitness journey, it's gonna take some time. You're gonna fail, you're gonna stumble, you're gonna fall, you're gonna learn, but just understand that that is part of the process and you need to be patient. Now, I think another reason that people get impatient is because they compare themselves to other people. And that's gonna like segue into the next thing that I wish I knew before in my fitness journey, is that I wish I knew not to compare myself to people. In the beginning of my fitness journey, I didn't really compare myself because I was young and no one was really working out. So I only had me, myself, and I to really compare myself to, which you should always just compare yourself to. Let me just keep it simple. Comparison to other people, or if you compare yourself to other people, simply kill your joy. Like there's really no other way to put it. So it'll make your fitness journey just miserable because there's always going to be someone better. And the whole point of your fitness journey isn't to be the best, you know? Like sometimes there are those people that become the best, but for a majority of us, we're not going to be the best. The whole point of, you know, your fitness journey and whatnot is to become better at whatever your goal you're trying to chase with your fitness journey. It's not about someone else's journey, it's about your own journey. So stay focused, stay on your track, and stay with your plan. Don't just everyone else. I hate to say that, but seriously, don't think about what other people are doing and compare yourself to what others are doing. Focus on you. Since we're on the topic of focusing on you, focus and discipline kind of go hand in hand, so we're going to talk about discipline now. And this is one of those weird kind of things where I feel like people understand what discipline is, but they just don't know how to apply it to their life. So I think a lot of people, and I know a lot of people initially get motivated during their fitness journey, as well as me. Like there's been times where I was super motivated during like, you know, my whole fitness journey. Like there's times where I'm more motivated than others. But I've noticed that when I get into those grooves of just like super motivated, you know, I start going head over heels, I start behaving in a certain way that I, you know, normally wouldn't if I wasn't that motivated. And then once that motivation wears off, I just become kind of complacent, or I become, I would say, just less hardworking, or I just work less harder because I'm not as motivated. And people need to understand that motivation is just a feeling. So you need to hold yourself accountable, you know? So let's just say you're super motivated to lose weight, right? And you know, for 2 weeks, you're super motivated. And all of a sudden that motivation goes away. And so you think to yourself, oh, like I must not really want this anymore. No, you still want it for yourself. It's just, you need to be disciplined at this point because motivation comes and goes, as I'm sure you guys have heard. So you need to stay disciplined or else you will not stay on track with your fitness journey at all whatsoever. The only thing that I really think that helps with discipline is having some sort of goal. Now, I say that because if you don't have a goal, what are you being disciplined for? In other words, what are you making yourself work hard for if there's really no end goal? I know one of the things that held me back for a really long time in my fitness journey, because I was super in and out of my fitness journey in high school and even kind of like after high school, and it was the fact that I just wasn't setting goals. Like I said, I'd kind of get motivated and then all of a sudden my motivation would disappear, and then I'd be like,
why am I, you know, pushing myself so hard?
And then I would just stop. And so it wasn't until I started setting goals with fitness and lifting that, you know, even though the not discipline, but the motivation would just kind of disperse and go away, the discipline was still there because I had a goal at the end of the day. Like I knew that if I wanted to reach my goal, it didn't matter if I was motivated or not. I still had to show up to accomplish my freaking goals, and I still do that every single day. Like I said in the beginning of this video, I'm preparing for a marathon. In the first 2 weeks of, you know, preparing for my marathon, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna qualify for Boston. Now I'm like, holy shit, this is tough. But despite it being tough, I still have a goal for qualifying for Boston. Still, I still show up every day because I set a goal. I also think you should set long-term and short-term goals. It just helps you because, for example, like a short-term goal I had recently was to lift a certain amount of weight because I did just get done with a powerlifting event as well. And that just helped me, I would say, just stay motivated for, you know, certain duration of time, but long-term goals also will carry out much longer and keep you more focused. Rory and I were kind of talking about this when we were, I don't know, we were just on like the topic of fitness one day, and we were talking about how people typically get very overwhelmed in their fitness journey, and it's because they need to take baby steps in learning this. And I wish I would have known that because I was learning about fitness at one point, and I was learning about nutrition, and I felt like I was just getting very overwhelmed, and then it just wasn't fun. And we know that, like, whenever we're doing something and we get overwhelmed doing it, it's like, this isn't fun anymore. And a lot of people experience that, especially with their passions. You know, they find out like, oh, I don't know if I really like this anymore. And it's not that they don't like it anymore, it's that they became overwhelmed by what they were doing. And so just take baby steps. So in my experience, you know, like I said, I was learning way too much at once. I would say just create a foundation for yourself about either lifting first or nutrition first. Get in the gym first, create a foundation of going to the gym every day, learning about, you know, workouts, muscle groups, and stuff like that. So take baby steps, make this fun for yourself. Again, you don't want to make this miserable for yourself. Speaking of like taking baby steps and learning about different things, the next tip and suggestion I want to give to you guys is that you should be a student of whatever you're trying to do with your fitness journey, whether it be a better runner, whether it be a better person in calisthenics, whether it be a better person in bodybuilding. Whatever it is, just become a student in what you're doing, because you are going to face points, you know, where you just sit there and you face a plateau and you go, I'm not improving. You know, what's going on? And the way I look at a lot of things is that there's always ways to overcome whatever difficulty you're facing, especially, you know, even in life. There's so much things about working out that are applicable to life, but that's a whole nother topic. Something that I know I have faced recently is I was preparing for a half marathon last summer. And one of the things I noticed was I could never keep a consistent fast mile pace, or in other words, like when the mileage got high, I would just sink right down to like an 8:30 to like 10-minute mile pace, and it would just piss me off. I was like, why is this happening? Like, am I just a sucky runner? You know, am I just a bad runner? And I realized, no, I'm not a bad runner. There's just things that I haven't even gone to explore yet that could help me potentially be a faster, you know, runner at a higher mileage. And so I did some research, and I actually ran like a 6:30 mile pace on on mile 9 or 10 recently. And it was because I, you know, went and did my research. So be a student of whatever you're trying to do in your fitness journey. You guys know I'm a hybrid athlete, so lifting and running is something that I'm constantly studying. How can I get better in this area? How can I overcome this weakness? So always be a student of whatever you're, you know, trying to take on in fitness. One thing that I really wish I would have known, especially with younger me, is get rid of the ego.
What the hell is even that?
You know, it's hard. Even at my age, it's hard to do. So, like, even, you know, when I'm running sometimes and I'm running like a 9:30 because I have to run a 9:30 minute per mile pace, I'll think like,
Dang, people probably think I'm running slow.
and then I'll kind of pick up the pace, and then I have to remind myself like, dude, no one gives a shit. Get rid of the ego. Instead of worrying about being cool, follow the workout program, because we're not going to get better unless we do what we have to do. And so I think a lot of the people, I've seen a lot of people actually in the gym do this, where they go into the gym and their ego is getting them so much, and they'll just stack up weight on like a leg press, for example. And they'll go on and they'll go down 2 inches and then try to push it up and go, oh, like, they feel tough because they're moving weight like a hair off the ground. It's like, dude, that actually makes you look more stupid, because everyone understands that you are literally lifting for your ego in the gym. Like, I don't know how people, just my opinion, like, I don't know how people go into the gym and they stack up weight on something and then move it a hair and think to themselves like, oh, people probably think I'm cool. It's like, no, everyone knows you're ego lifting. Everyone knows you look like an idiot right now. So definitely get rid of the ego. Take your time to like learn how to do things right. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Ego is something that I don't really need to get deep into, but just know, like, when I was young and stuff, I would do that, and it can actually result in injury, and it'll actually prevent you from growing, because if you're not doing a workout right and you're just letting your ego take over, you're never actually gonna really get stronger. A lot of you guys probably won't develop this until later on in your fitness journey. It's okay to not know right now, but just know eventually you kind of have to ask yourself this, and it's find your why. And it kind of ties back to like the discipline and setting goals, because if you don't have a why for why you're taking yourself through working out, or, you know, basically suffering, like if you're putting yourself through suffering, that's not fun. Like if I just went outside every single day and jumped rope for 3 hours and had just no idea why I did it, it would just be pointless. It would be like working toward this goal that doesn't even exist. And so I went through this recently where I asked myself, like, why do I even upload content on my channel? Why do I do these hard things? Like, why am I running a marathon? Why am I doing this? And I realized that there was a time in my life where I couldn't handle uncomfort, and it got to my head really, really bad. I developed an anxiety disorder from it. And so I was like, you know what? I never want to be in a position where I can't handle uncomfortable situations. So I'm gonna force myself to go into uncomfortable situations and do hard shit, so that my brain understands that, look, life is unfair. There's gonna be uncomfortable circumstances that I have no control over, and I have to go through them. So that's why I do hard shit, and that's why I post content that I do. So that's for me personally. That's just a personal experience as to, you know, a why, but in a different aspect of life, but it applies the same with lifting. So with me and lifting, like it's just something that really keeps my mental health in check. I also just love it. And why do I love it? Because I get to push myself every day and find out how much better I can get. And so you guys really need to have that deeper why that keeps you showing up and keeps that discipline. Now, the next thing I'm gonna say is just kind of goofy, and it's listen to your body, but don't, hold on, I should do this. Listen to your body and then don't listen to your body. And what I mean by that is there's gonna be times in the gym or when you're running or when you're climbing or calisthenics or whatever it might be, and your body is telling you, oh, I don't wanna do this. And then there's another time when your body tells you like, no, don't do this. Like I'm on the brink of breaking my fudging leg or breaking your fudging leg. And so you need to listen to the voice that's obviously like injury versus pain. So pain is something that comes along with working out. So on like I always train till failure, but I have like a rep range for where I'm like failing. So for example, if I'm on the bench press and I get to rep 10 and I have like, you know, I'm going till failure and my rep range till failure that I estimated was like 11 to 12 and it's hurting at 10, but I still got it up, I need to keep going. Just because I feel pain doesn't mean that it's bad. Not all pain is bad. Some pain actually helps you grow to help you like, you know, become the person you're gonna be or help you get to the physique that you want. And it's kind of funny how that works. Like literally a life application right there. Yeah, just push past pain that just hurts, but it's not injury pain. And if you can't tell the difference between that, then I don't know what to tell you because there's a huge difference in my opinion. I can't really like explain or put into words how that pain is other than like one feels like you're breaking something and one just feels like, I'm pushing myself so it hurts. Last thing that I'm gonna tell you guys is you need to make it a lifestyle. And my friend Ezra said this and I think it's like the best thing ever. And I know he's told me like he's struggling with it, but he wants to get to that point. And he's an MMA fighter, by the way, and he says he wants to make it a lifestyle. And what I mean by that is when you make something a lifestyle, it's clear to everyone else around you based on your behavior what you do. So I obviously have a physique that I have. When I go out, I eat a certain way that I eat. When I do certain things, you can just tell by my behavior that I live a lifestyle that accompanies fitness and just, yeah, it accompanies fitness. So if you want, you know, your fitness journey to be worthwhile and want to stay in the game, just know that like when you make it a lifestyle, other people notice, they compliment you, they keep saying things that keep you more, I would say, engaged with working on your fitness journey. And so making it a lifestyle just makes it that much easier for you. That's essentially it. Those are things that I wish I really knew before I got into lifting, because I feel like I went through like just an unnecessary, it's not necessarily unnecessary because obviously now I'm here today to help other people out. But it's just things that I wish I really would have known, you know, because just going through that wasn't fun. I know that not everyone can actually handle going through all that stuff. It's not like I went through hell and back, but it's difficult to deal with, and I understand the pain because I went through it. And I know that other people, based on who I've talked to and whatnot, that they just really struggle with going through some of the things with fitness journeys and whatnot, feeling like a piece of shit about themselves because they're comparing themselves or they're doing this. And it's like, look, man, I've been through it all. Here's what I have to say, and that's what I have to say to you guys. So I hope you guys like this video. You know, I don't really do too much informative stuff, you know, but I really felt like making this video, and I feel like it could help a lot of you guys out there. So yeah, sick. That was awkward, but that's gonna do it for today's video. I hope you guys liked today's video. If you guys did, be sure to give it a like. If any of you guys are new here, do not forget to press that subscribe button, because you guys know I will be back. That was weird. And as always, guys, trying to do what you love. The sky's the limit, and I'll see you guys in the next one.